Hi, everybody. Uh, Welcome back. We are on our second section of notes for Unit 4. This is on properties of matter. Um, this is kind of one of the more tedious parts. It has a lot of vocabulary, and I really suggest that you guys make flashcards of this vocabulary terms as we go along. This will be quick. So, properties of matter. Property is a fancy way for describing a characteristic of how something looks, feels, smells, etc. And there's two different ways in chemistry we look at describing matter. The first way that I'm going to start with are chemical properties. And chemical properties describe how matter can change. They describe the chemical makeup of the matter, and when you know the chemical makeup of the matter, you can describe how it will react. Like water is not explosive, but dynamite is. And that's a really big statement of a chemical property. So chemical properties, I gave a list. This is way more than's in the book. So we've got the flammability, the ability to rust, reactivity, corrosive, combustibility. Um, there's a lot more chemical properties that will make sense once we study more of chemistry, but here's the kind of basic, easy chemical properties to know about. And we did this the other day in class with the example the paper was flammable, but water was not. And then we had a liquid that was flammable and water was not. All right, and then the ones that you guys are way more familiar with are physical properties. I went a little too far there. Physical properties. These are characteristics of your substance that you can see or measure without changing the composition of the substance. It describes what the matter is. So if I had a cup of water, I could tell you the mass of the water. I could tell you the volume of the water. I could tell you the density. Now we've got some words right here. I don't know why my pen doesn't want to write. So let's see if I can get it to write here. Ductility and malleability. These can be tricky because they sound like chemical properties, but they're not. Basically, ductility just means, the fancy word is ductile. It means that you can take the substance and pull it into a wire, and this applies to a lot of metals. And malleability is the ability to be pounded into thin sheets. We always call it mallet ability. A mallet is a big old hammer with the big round barrel looking end. And this describes like aluminum, and that's how we get aluminum foil. Everything else is pretty straightforward in terms of what physical properties are. They describe in quality and quantity your substance. So I'll scroll down. I know you guys know mass, volume, and density. Then we've got boiling point, melting point. Regular water boils at a certain temperature. Salt water boils at a different temperature. Melting point, flash point, that's the temperature at which a substance will ignite and catch on fire. Electrical conductivity. Rubber does not conduct electricity, but metals do. Oh, solubility is another tricky one here. It's got the ity ending. Dissolving. If I take sugar and put it in water, the sugar pieces get so little that you can't see them anymore, but it is still sugar there. And if you let the water evaporate, the sugar would be left behind. So solubility, the sugar hasn't changed, just gotten smaller. So solubility is another tricky one in terms of remembering if it's physical or chemical. And then the biggie, and this was our first section of notes, state of matter. If your item is a solid, liquid, or gas, or your substance is one of those three states, when you change H2O, liquid, and you cool it off and freeze it, it makes a solid. The solid is still H2O, it's just in solid form, it's still H2O. Color, odor, and luster. Luster is just a fancy science word for shiny. So those are your physical properties, and then your substance can go through either a chemical change or a physical change. I'm going to start with the easier one first. The physical change. You have the same substance before and after. If I take water and I freeze it to ice, it is still the chemical substance H2O. A chemical change is where you have a different substance after the change. So if I were to take water and break it down into hydrogen gas and oxygen gas, that would be an example of a chemical change. These are hard, and we have a whole bunch of practice we're going to do at school. My summary is weak. I just said properties describe matter and changes tell how the matter looks as it changes, which I thought was redundant. So there's your notes. Those are my notes from physical and chemical properties. There are test questions on a lot of these. You need to know all of these words and what they mean. So there's our summary, and we'll back to the top. If you need to rewind and go back and pause so you can add detail to your notes, go ahead, and please remember I'm going to grade your notes based on how much of the missing detail that you've added to yours. So if your notes are exactly like mine and they're perfect and you didn't miss anything, awesome. But if you missed stuff, I'm looking to see that you've got this complete section of notes in your notes. If you want to copy and paste, I'm sure there's ways to take pictures and do that into Notability. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing how you guys can show me how you've added. And it can't just be a picture of my notes, all right? Okay, email me if you guys got questions. See ya later. Bye.